You're listening to AM Rockland. I'm your host, Tom Osa. Thanks for joining us today. Well, thanks for being on for our Rockland News Morning live stream once again. As I mentioned, we are planting the flag on morning news in Rockland County ever since WRCR is in the process of selling to AM 770. Nothing against them, but we're here. Might as well do this. Let's start off with the weather. Today's weather is sponsored by Susan Bova of Coldwell Banker Realty. Susan has been selling real estate for over 35 years. She's a native of Rockland County with lots of knowledge, which has helped her become a consistent award-winning agent. And you can check her out at susanbovarealtor.com. Her phone number is 845-826-0333. And with that, let's get into the weather. And anybody that's been outside over the last 2 or 3 days knows that it is hot town summer in the city. Right now, we're looking at 84 degrees. It's going to be sunny all day long with a high of 96 degrees. Let me turn off the I keep on these little technical things that I have to do in order to make sure that everything goes smooth, but sometimes it doesn't always work out. Anyway, 83 degrees with a high of 96 degrees, fully sunny. And I started looking at a few different forecasts. Obviously, I'm looking around AccuWeather and Google, and I just took a look at the one on MSN, and it's kind of hilarious. It's all red. The entire thing is just completely red. Like, it is going to be really, really hot today. Some are estimating that it's going to feel like it's over 100 degrees. So for those of you that are in any way, shape, or form working outdoors, we had our landscaper here yesterday. So muchos kudos to you guys. And I hope anybody that's outside today, and I will be for a little while, mind you, I hope everybody stays safe and is able to stay indoors as much as possible. And with that, the news, Rockland County does remain under an excessive heat advisory today, with temperatures expected, as we mentioned before, to exceed 90 degrees and heat indexes approaching triple digits. Health officials stress the importance of staying hydrated, avoiding strenuous outdoor activity during peak sun hours, and that's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and making use of air-conditioned spaces. Cooling centers across Rockland County are open to the public, and the facilities offer a safe haven from the dangerous heat, especially for the elderly, for children, and those without adequate air conditioning. And I can relate to that. I didn't grow up with air conditioning, so I can definitely relate to the hot weather. There is a list of all 26 cooling centers on rocklandsnews.com right now. You just go right there, you click on the first picture. I kind of added a throwback picture today, black and white, but you click on that and you scroll down and you'll see all of the cooling centers that are available. In a little while, we're going to be listing a few of those just in case, and why the heck not? It's a Tuesday. There's some news, but we can talk about whatever we want, quite frankly. And this seems to be of high importance. And in line with that heat safety warning, Rockland County Executive Ed Day and Sheriff Louis Falco are issuing a critical reminder to never leave children or pets unattended in parked cars. Interior temperatures can spike over 120 degrees in just minutes, even with windows cracked. So if you see a child or an animal alone in a vehicle, call 911 immediately. And under New York law, you're allowed to intervene if there is an immediate danger. So let's prevent unnecessary tragedies this summer and keep an eye out for your neighbor. Hospitals are seeing a rise in heat-related cases, including Montefiore Nyack and WMC Health. They're reporting an uptick in heat-related illnesses. Elderly individuals and outdoor workers, such as landscapers, are particularly vulnerable. On Monday alone, Rockland paramedics responded to 7 emergency calls before 11 a.m., with several linked directly to the heat. Paramedics are using cold IV saline packs to stabilize the patients, and EMTs are urging everyone to hydrate and remain indoors when possible. As I mentioned before, Rockland County has released the full list of 26 official cooling centers open to the public. That includes community centers, senior centers, town halls, public facilities across every town and village in Rockland County. So if you're in Nyack, if you're in Suffern, Hilburn, or Pomona, a cooling center is nearby. And you can visit Rockland.gov. Ooh, hang on, let me just make sure I got this. Rocklandgov.com? No. Oh yeah, rocklandgov.com. There's many different domains that go right to the Rockland County website now. So there's rocklandcountyny.gov. There's also rocklandgov.com, or call your local town hall for full details. All right, so we'll go through the towns, and if this is of need to you during the day, you could swing on by into any one of these cooling centers open to Rockland County residents. Clarkstown residents looking for relief from the scorching temperatures can head to the Congress Community Center or the Pascack Community Center in Nanuet. Both sites are operating as official cooling stations. Town officials urge residents to check on elderly neighbors, stay indoors during the hottest parts of the day, and make use of these public facilities to prevent heat exhaustion and dehydration. For hours and directions, contact the centers directly or visit the town's website. And again, that full list is on rocklandnews.com, first article. Excuse me. The town of Haverstraw is offering multiple cooling centers to help residents cope with extreme heat conditions. Haverstraw Town Hall, the Village Community Center on West Broad Street, and Village Hall on New Main Street are all open to the public. Officials are advising residents to take regular breaks from outdoor activity, drink water frequently, and be vigilant for signs of heat stroke, especially among children and seniors. And in Nyack, with temperatures reaching dangerous highs, the village of Nyack has designated both the Central Nyack Community Center and the Nyack Senior Center as public cooling centers. These locations are open throughout the day and provide a safe space for anyone needing relief from the heat. Local health professionals remind everyone to use sunscreen when outdoors, wear light clothing, and avoid sugary or alcoholic drinks, which can contribute to dehydration. Orangetown residents can escape the heat at the Orangetown Police Department's community room or town hall, both located on West Orangeburg Road. That's right off of exit 6. These spaces are air conditioned and they're staffed to provide assistance to anyone in need during high heat events. Residents are reminded to limit outdoor exposure and take advantage of these resources, particularly vulnerable groups such as seniors, young children, and individuals with medical conditions. Stony Point's Patriot Hills Senior and Community Center is open to the public as a designated cooling station. With the Farley Bridge construction causing delays and the heat continuing to rise, local officials are recommending residents avoid unnecessary travel and seek refuge in air-conditioned facilities like Patriot Hills. And another side note on Stony Point, construction on the Farley Bridge in Stony Point continues as part of the Champlain-Hudson Power Express project. Town officials, including Supervisor Jim Monahan and the local police department, met with Chippy, that's the acronym Champlain-Hudson Power Express, met with Chippy representatives to address safety and traffic flow concerns. An officer is now posted at the bridge's south end to maintain traffic, and the lane closure headed northbound on the Farley Bridge will remain in place through the summer. Drivers are urged to use caution and follow detour signage. Excuse me. Some other news around passed around the county. The Sheridan Crossroads site, the one that the Mahwah Sheridan that imploded several weeks ago, cleanup is underway at that hotel site in Mahwah following its demolition in May. Heavy machinery is now clearing the rubble, making way for new development. I wonder if they have that same machinery at that mountain in Iran. The site, long a local landmark, I'm sorry, I'll get somebody else to handle the news. The site, long a local landmark, and it was, will soon see a new chapter, although details about future construction plans have not yet been announced. And New York is planning its first nuclear power plant in a generation. Now, we wrote this up, we got the press release and we wrote it up real quick. In a bold move, Governor Kathy Hochul has directed the New York Power Authority to develop a new zero-emission nuclear power plant in upstate New York. This marks the first such construction effort in decades and is part of the state's push to meet climate goals and growing power demand. The project aims to provide clean, affordable energy while creating hundreds of union jobs. Evaluations for site and technology feasibility are already underway. I actually, I'm not going to say I have a lot of experience with nuclear power plants. I don't. But I have had the benefit of sitting on a local development board that has interest via their engineers in something called SMRs, small modular reactors. And it's pretty damn fascinating. So, we all, especially those of us in Rockland, the thing that we imagine, I'm sure, is the dirty nuclear power plant. Like, for instance, Indian Point was just a mess toward the very end. They had to shut that thing down. And of course, we all have, the dystopian nightmares of, for instance, the what was the 3 Mile Island, which was a near disaster. Luckily, we got to it before anything blew up. Chernobyl, that was the big one. That caused countless deaths and horrible death, quite frankly. But I will say this, and just based on what I've studied thus far, the technology really is changing. So let me give you just kind of like a quick overview of SMRs. Small modular reactors are actually like a fraction of the size of these big nuclear containers that you see, like the big domes that you look at when you're looking at something like Indian Point. So small modular reactors actually used depleted uranium, and basically what that means is it's much less toxic to the local environment, much less toxic. And I'm not going to go too deep into this because you got to do your own studies and learn about it. But if I'm reading this correctly about what New York is looking to do, they're not looking to do that sort of power plant that they have these days that are rotting away in many locations, but they're looking to do a small modular reactor. And that's different. That's something that, I mean, quite frankly, if it's done right, and safely, it might do a lot better. Like, for instance, 1 gigawatt of energy, I think that powers. I saw this on a press release. Let me just do a quick Google. What does 1 gigawatt of nuclear power produce for residents? Come on, Gemini. All right, so 1 gigawatt can power 725,000 homes. And also bear in mind that right now, New York State, is it the United States or New York State? Let's just say that there's this metric out there that 19% of energy that's consumed by residents is nuclear power. So those nuclear power plants that were created back in the 70s and the 80s, I mean, quite frankly, they're still doing their job. But obviously, they really got to start getting phased out because it's getting absurd with like the upkeep and the maintenance. There's something in IT called technical debt, and it just continues to accumulate over and over and over again. So old technology out, new technology in, and hopefully it's done in a way that is safe for the environment and also useful for residents, especially people in New York. So that's pretty much the close of our news today. Just as a reminder, on Nanuet from July 11th. Sorry, I had to get my calendar up here. July 11th to August 15th, every Friday night over at the Nanuet Town Center, formerly known as the Shops at Nanuet, we're going to have our summer concert series. It's being handled by Rockland Music Fest, which is also putting on the September 27th concert over at Clover Stadium. And if it's all right with you, let me just read off some of the amazing bands that are going to be playing at this summer concert series. So we have Crash is going to be there on July 11th. They play like classic rock and like 2000s rock. July 18th, we're going to have the Femme Fighters. It's a female-driven rock band. July 25th, we're going to have AK-40 Devon, family-friendly hip-hop. August 1st, we'll have Hush. If you haven't seen Hush over at the former Rhodes Tavern or at many different events, so you got to check it out. Lead singer, a female lead singer, and Dank is on bass. The guy is like 6'4", just muscles and bass, dude. Played with him in a gig, in two different bands back in the 2000s, Suffer and Succotash, and then the Von Ghouls. Yeah, those names. August 8th, we're going to have Spanky and the Radicals playing over there, possibly with a guest appearance by Tailspin opening up for the show. August 15th, we're going to have KQ and the Sound Trip playing some jazz and funk and rock. Guitarist Kevin Quattrochi is quite amazing on his guitar. So you got to check him out. It's going to be a really cool set of shows that we're going to have over at the Nanuet Town Center, again, from July 11th up until August 15th. Okay, and I want to finally thank our many, many sponsors for this show. We're actually reformatting a few more things where we're going to be peppering in these sponsors in between the news items. So stay tuned for that happening in July. Listen, I know for anybody that's listening to the end of this live stream, I know what I'm doing is clunky. I absolutely do. We got a great team in the background that's doing like the aggregation of the news, and they're putting everything together on rocklandnews.com. But I know that, my delivery of this is very clunky. I am aware. But like I said, man, we are planting the flag in the morning news because we know all these things and we have the connections and we could do it. And my premise, nothing against AM 770, but I think we can do more with less. And hopefully that's beneficial to you that are listening. We're also looking for sponsors. We got like about 20 sponsors, but we want to keep it going. And we want to thank those that have already sponsored us. 202 Cannabis, located in Garnerville, New York. Susan Bova, as I mentioned before, Coldwell Banker Realty. Regents Review, celebrating 20 years of SAT and ACT test prep. Yabu Fence Company. Adirondack chairs are on sale now. Go to yabufence.com. Check them out. Dana Pest Control. They provide pest management services, third generation, located in Tompkins Cove. Lauren Molino Muller from Howard Hanna Rand Realty. Kobe Sushi has a new music lounge that they opened on May 31st. They're located in New City, New York. Sparkling Clean Homes. You can call 845-641-3223 to get an estimate to get your home sparkling clean. Patriot Lounge, music every weekend. Visit thepatriotlounge.com. St. Thomas Aquinas College, a proud supporter of Rockland Music Fest for 2025. FZ Perfection, located in Congers, for auto body repair. Banchetto Restaurant, located in Nanuet, New York. Outsource My IT, help you with all your cybersecurity threats and maintain your IT systems. Clean Space Maintenance and Management Company. North Rockland Chiropractic. Stony Point Pancake Factory, Fiesta Acapulco, Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy, and Rockland Music Fest, playing September 27th over at Clover Stadium with our headliner band, Magical Mystery Doors. And that's all for this opening salvo of the Rockland News AM Rockland show. I'm your host, Tom Osa, and again, as a reminder, you can catch all the news that matters to you most at rocklandnews.com. Our team posts approximately 20 to 30 articles on a variety of matters across Rockland County that matter to you most, that you can make informed decisions while you're going through your work day. And this podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And we are looking for sponsors to cover AM Rockland over the next several months and years. So if you want to be involved, if you want to be interviewed, or if you want anything that is broadcast out to the local Rockland communities, send it in to us. You can send a message to news@rocklandnews.com. Until next time, I am your host, Tom Osa. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you tomorrow with our co-host, Mike Pfluger. Take care for now. Bye-bye then.